All right, I think I am in this piece. If someone could please alert my good friend Audra Russell, also known as the host of Between the Reads podcast and the Staying on Code podcast. Also the person who will literally send me an Instagram DM at like 5:39 a.m. like I'm awake. If you would just please tell her that there is a new episode of the Bookcast by D.L. White that is on and popping. Do you guys know if I don't release an episode, Audra gets very upset because I'm part of her routine, and we don't want to throw Audra off her routine at all. She listens to my podcast while she does certain things around the house, so it throws her off when I don't record an episode. And for that, I deeply apologize. I apologize. I'm not sorry because I like taking time off, but I do apologize for throwing her off her game. But we're back, and we're bad. I took a couple of weeks off. 1 week I took off because I was in the great city of Chicago visiting my friends that I call the Gunkles, Michael and Greg. Michael is always in my text message inbox asking when I am coming back to Chicago. And my answer is always, I don't know. I don't know. Like every time I go to a beach, I get a text like, you can come to Chicago. So I was like, you know what? I'm coming to Chicago. Let me just book a flight. I am coming to Chicago. So I went and I had a fantastic time. If you want to be spoiled, go visit your gunkles in Chicago. I didn't have to make my own coffee. They cook very well, made all the meals. We ate at delightful places. We had drinks. We did some walking around the city. We went to the American Writers Museum, which I did not realize was in Chicago. It is. Had a wonderful time. It is a great, great place. Actually really fantastic. And Michael is somewhat of a museum expert and connoisseur. He could not stop talking about how well done it was. It was interactive. It was beautifully done. It was just big enough to spend like a couple hours in there, just like walking around, looking at things, talking about our nation's greatest writers. I'm interested in going back, actually. So really well done. I always go to a museum when I go to Chicago. Last time I think we went to like the Museum of Science and Industry or something like that. And then the time before, I don't remember what museum we went to, but we always go to a museum. We always go dinner at a wonderful spot. We always have drinks either at the Langham or where did we go this time? It was it Four Seasons? Something. No, it wasn't the Four Seasons, but it was near the Four Seasons. Anyway, Travell, is that where we went? I don't remember. My brain is Swiss cheese. Anyhow, so that's where I was. And then last weekend I came back and I tried to record and the recording was just corrupted. It sounded horrible. I was like, you know what? I am going to get back in bed and read books. I did not feel like re-recording. The episode was kind of trash anyway because, like my reading has slowed down quite a bit. And I've just been so burnt and just really tired from like writing this book and going through the edit process and try and get the book out. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to take another week off. But I did not want to take off a third week. I'm still a little burnt. I'm still very tired. I'm still in like mental break time. But I figured this week I would do a little teeny weeny Q&A. And then I would do my pre-release thoughts for ELYSIUM. I am currently recording on Friday, August 25th, 2023. It is 1:28 p.m. Yes, doing a little wage theft here. By noon on Fridays at the Beverage Giant, it's pretty much just tumbleweeds. Just nothing going on over here. Busy work, wrapping things up, and I pretty much go gray after 12 o'clock. I will be very surprised if my phone rings, especially since my boss is on an airplane. So I'm going to record today and it'll go up still at the same time. It'll be up Saturday morning. I anticipate spending most of my day inside the book in Vellum, completing the final read through of this book. I'm stalking my email right now because my editor is supposed to be sending back her last pass pages. I will go through those changes. I will incorporate any feedback from the the ARC readers that I got back. And hopefully, prayerfully, fingers crossed, this book will be out Sunday. And I'll kind of go through this little rundown that I came up with, let you know where you can buy it, when you can buy it, how much it'll be, all that stuff. I'm super excited. I want to start a little bit with the Q&A. I did get, when I do questions, I don't really get responses. I don't know why I do them, but I don't really get responses. But Robert Justice, who is a mystery thriller author, did send me a question that I thought was a good question to answer for this particular session. He says, I would love to hear about your long-term writing goals /hopes/dreams. And then I said, I wanted an easy question, Robert, like something along the lines of what's your favorite color? My favorite color is red, by the way. And he said, okay, you can align your writing hopes to a color. If your writing career was a color, what would it be? I don't know how to answer that question, Robert. Maybe blue, because blue is kind of calm. I really like to keep it like calm, even keel. Like red would be like on fire, chaotic, absolutely unmanageable, and that I can't live my life that way. Blue is a nice, calm color. And he said I could liken them to shades of Skittles. And the blue Skittle is good. My favorite Skittle is actually the yellow. I do think that they taste different, particularly if you get the tropical Skittles. They do taste different. People keep saying they taste the same. Maybe your regular red bag Skittles, but that purple bag, tropical flavored Skittles, they have bars. The yellow, the orange, those are my jam. Long-term writing holes. That's a combination of goals and hopes. Long-term writing goals, hopes, dreams. I don't know that I have long-term goals. Like, I really compartmentalize things in my brain and in my life. Like, I like to cut things up into little chunks. First this, and then this, and then this. My initial goal really is to get to 20 books. I want 20 books published. Lord knows when I'm going to hit that goal, but book 12 is coming. I am going to start book 13 in September. I might do book 14 as like a little holiday short. I don't know. I haven't thought about it because I start freaking out about it if I think about it. I mean, short term, 20 books, long term, who knows? Like I don't have an end goal. Like, I'm going to retire when I hit 50 books. I don't see retiring from writing. I did try to quit twice and that did not work out very well. So I think if I'm thinking in terms of finances, is my goal to write full time and support myself as an author? Not really. I can't handle the pressure of knowing that what I write and publish and sell is what puts food on my table. I much more like the freedom of having a salary, a full-time job that pays the bills, that puts money into a 401k, that makes it possible for me to have insurance, health insurance, car insurance, life insurance, so that when I have free time and I sit in this chair, when I sit at that desk, or when I sit on my bed with my laptop open, I have the freedom to dream. Like, I cannot dream if I am worried about bills. And I'm not an author that lives off of their writing income. My writing is at a point where it just barely covers the subscriptions that I have to be a writer. Like the book funnel, annual domain renewal, monthly hosting, Canva, MailerLite, all of those. I just barely cover those bills. If I have, a good sale or somebody happens to mention me, I might make more. Some months I make less. Some months I don't clear $100 overall, either like between Amazon wide releases and audio and anything I'm selling, on my website. Some months I don't clear $100 and I have to like dip into savings, or I have to, send money from my personal account over to my business account to make sure things don't bounce. So I want to keep writing. Obviously, I want to keep writing. I want to keep growing as an author. I want to keep telling new stories. I don't ever want to feel like I am just telling the same story over and over. I want to give space to the people that live inside my head, to the ideas that I've written down that I want to bring to life, that, I want to have the courage to dream up those stories and feel like I could put words in those people's mouths and make the story vivid enough that people not only want to buy it, but buy it and read it and love it and talk about it. I think another long-term goal is to be vocally a favorite author of more people. I have some raving fans. I really, really have some raving fans. And I have been conscious of saying, nobody likes that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to read that. Nobody talks about my book, because those absolutes don't really work. I absolutely have raving fans. I have people that buy every book and, buy me in print and ebook and audio and talk about my books all the time. I am so grateful and so thankful for them. And it's so disrespectful for me to say, nobody be out here talking about my books. What I would like to have is a little bit more name recognition amongst the general readers out there, the Black readers that are talking about the Be-Love releases and the Monica, what is her last name? Her name absolutely escapes me. I don't have time to look it up. The Gray Huffington fans. And I know like those authors, some of those authors skew a little bit younger. Our readership doesn't overlap. I tend to write for people 30 and up. It's hard for me to write people who are young. But I also know those readers dip a little bit into your seasoned romance, your mature romance, your grown folks romance. And I do try to write my characters relatably mature. Like they're not out here, with like broken hips and canes and walkers and in nursing homes. I mean, they're not elderly, but they're not 22 either. They don't have thoughts and feelings and make the mistakes that a 22-year-old would make. They make mistakes that a 46-year-old would make. You know what I'm saying? So all of this rambling to say, I don't know, but I want to become more popular. I want to be the favorite author of more people. I would love to match my full-time salary with what I make on books. That's a very lofty goal. And I definitely want to level up. And I started with this book, leveling up my writing process, presenting a more polished product, doing it the professional way, and trying to cater more to readers who are going to meet me where I am. I'm not on Kindle Unlimited. You're not going to be able to like suck my book up into that vortex where it can get lost in whatever else you're reading. I'm at a place where I got to protect my intellectual property. And I was watching back on some videos today. Christina C. Jones said, I want to own my masters. I'm 100% there. I want to control where my books are, how much I sell them for, all that jazz, all that good stuff. I want control. Long-term writing goals, hopes, dreams are to have control and to be able to direct my career where I want it to go. So I hope that answered your question, Robert. If you guys have other questions, please feel free to drop into my DMs, shoot me an email. If you know the email address, I don't be putting it out there because I do get weirdos that email me. And I'm like being completely transparent. My first book was not a professional effort. It needed heavy editing. And every time a teacher reads that book, I get an email about the grammar in that book. And I was tired of getting them. So I took down the contact form on my website, and I don't publish my email address because don't flame me, but I don't care what you think of that book. Put it in your review. I don't care. Let me know if you loved it. If you loved it, I want to know. If you didn't, put it in your review, honey. I'll find it. So let's talk about ELYSIUM. I'm super excited. And this is the first time that I'm doing pre-release thoughts for a book on this podcast. So Again, I had to go back and watch like Stephanie Nicole Norris and Christina C. Jones and, anybody who has done pre-release thoughts on their books, because I don't know how this works. I don't know what people be talking about, but I do want to pump this book a little bit because A, I love it. B, I'm super excited about it coming out soon. And C, it's different. It's different than what I put out before. And so I want to make sure people know she's different. She's not like other girls. So the title is officially Elysium, a Black Diamond Vacation Romance. This book will be available in ebook first. Print will be coming. But y'all know I do everything myself. So print will be, it'll be coming when it comes. I do already have the full wrap cover ready. I am literally just waiting on the final version to be done so that I can format it and have Vellum push it out and then send it on up to Drafted Digital so it can be for sale. I don't want to put it up until I have a print copy in my hand so I can see what it looks like, because I would hate for it to be out there in the world and I don't know what it looks like and it looks wrong. So it will be up for sale when I have a copy of it in my hands. So that is just how it has to work. No simultaneous releases for me over here. This book is 254 pages, 62,302 words currently. That could increase or decrease based on what my final past edit pages look like, but I don't see it growing that much. Maybe a few words, maybe a few hundred words. 22 chapters and a sweet, spicy epilogue. Speaking of spice, I don't know how to rate this. I'm going to say high steam to spicy. Ain't nobody swinging from chandeliers in this book, but there is considerably more sex in this book than there are in other books, with the exception of A Thin Line. I feel like there's a lot of sex in A Thin Line. There's probably more sex in this book than there is in A Thin Line, and it's much shorter. A Thin Line is 119,000 words. And this book is 62,000 words, and there's a lot of sex in this book. Basically because there is the premise of this book is that these two characters meet online and they conduct an online virtual sexual relationship before they meet. So you have to set the scene. I have to set the scene, and I wasn't gonna really skirt over that, ease into that. I didn't want to write 9 months of flirting before they even get to, hey, I kind of like you. I think you're sexy. Take off your clothes. I wasn't really going to ease into that because this was supposed to be a novella. I wanted to jump right into it. No slow burn here. We are on page 1. This is why I was worried about the sample. Page 1, people. This is not a slow burn romance. The burning is immediate. So there are several sex scenes. Some virtual sex sessions using toys. There's adult language in this book, so be warned. So I call it high steam because there are other authors that write more spicy than I do. I feel like there's a couple of opportunities I had to be a little bit more tempting and tantalizing, but hindsight is 2020. I didn't do that in this book. It is as spicy as it's gonna be. I don't anticipate adding anything dirtier in it. It is it's classy. It's a classy kind of dirty. It's spicy for me. I wouldn't say it's spicy overall, especially if you're used to reading erotica, if you're used to reading Alexandria House, etc. It's high steam. It's very high steam. So I just want y'all to be ready. I don't want to send this book to my mother. She has already asked me about it, and I don't know what to do. I feel like I want to send her a copy that doesn't have the first 2 chapters in it. Can I do that? Can I have a mom version that doesn't have the first 2 chapters in it? Because let me tell y'all a secret. If you go to booksbydlwhite.com/Elysium, there is a sample. And the sample is the first 5 chapters. I she couldn't read Brunch at Ruby's, which has half a sex scene in it. It has like 3 paragraphs of a sex scene in it. And she said, nope, that was too much for me. So when she gets the books, I tell her, you don't even need to open it. Just put it up in the bookcase. You know, just make sure it's there. It's available. You don't need to read past the table of contents. Lord. Content warnings for this book. There's aren't too many. Like, I don't really like warn for a whole lot. I don't write a lot of trauma, drama, that kind of thing that people will usually warn for. One character has a medical emergency, and Athena is a nurse. And so, of course, she is going to feel compelled to jump in and help. So there is a little bit of that if you have any sensitivity issues there. But like, there's no death in this book. There's no trauma in this book. It's a very sweet, spicy story. Not a content warning, but you will not see Wade and Amina in this book. However, there is a very brief referral to something in Beach Thing, 100 cool points if you find it and point it out. One of my ARC readers already mentioned it. So yay, 100 cool points to her. Let's talk about the blurb, because I love it. Finding the greatest love requires taking the greatest risks. Athena Wilcox leads a solitary life as a travel nurse committed to her work and her only child. When entrepreneur Vance Griffin sends a flirty private message, she's intrigued, but conflicted. Casual flirtation soon blossoms into late-night conversations that bring a yearning for more. An enticing invitation and first meeting sparks hope that the fantasy they've been creating could become reality. Both know this is no casual fling, but could an online relationship translate to a perfect, real-world love affair? The emerald waters and white sands of Black Diamond will sweep you away with pulse-pounding romance, sensuality, and emotional depth as 2 lovers begin the second chapter of their lives while discovering what it means to wander together. Y'all, I just really like this book. I just think it turned out great. If you want like a little rundown, I tried to do like a little spoiler-free summary of this book that isn't all blurby. So here we go. ELYSIUM tells the story of Athena and Vance, 2 single adults in their late 40s who meet online and develop a romantic relationship. Athena is a traveling nurse wrapping up an assignment. Vance owns a successful travel agency based in Houston. He invites Athena on a trip to a luxurious resort. After some initial hesitation, Athena decides to take a chance and meet Vance in person for the first time. There's an instant connection when they meet. Vance has planned a dream vacation. During the trip, he considers a very important change in his life, and he asks Athena if she would like to join him in this change. After their island getaway, Athena and Vance return to their regular lives, but they've now got a huge choice to make about what happens now. They face some challenges, but they grow closer, and the question remains whether they start to build a future together. This novel explores the development of an intense relationship between 2 mature individuals learning to take emotional risks, overcome past hurt, and embrace the promise of new beginnings. It highlights themes of trust, commitment, and the excitement of finding love later in life. I do feel like I write this trope a lot. I write this trope of one of my my ARC readers mentioned that I write the trope of new beginnings and doing things you've never done. I think like that's recurring, and I don't have an issue with that being recurring as long as the story is new. I love this story. I love that evolution of the human from one place to another, of starting over, of beginning a new chapter, of finding the love of your life when you're not 22. Very excited for people to read this book and to get Vance and Athena in their hands. I started this book in late April, maybe, or May, early May. I can't really remember, but I jumped in with both feet in June with the 20K in 5 days challenge that we run over at Wordmakers, which is my online writing group. I finished this book July 21st-ish. The Bookcast episode from July 22nd is right after I finished this book. So about 8 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks to write this book. This book, where will it be sold? First, it's going to be at my website store. You can catch those links at booksbydlwhite.com/ELYSIUM. That's ELYSIUM. If you go to booksbydlwhite.com/books, all of my books are there. There is a landing page for each book that will tell you where you can buy it in ebook or print or audio, where it's available. You can also add it to your Goodreads or storygraph, TBR. And there's a sample available for each book that is hosted at BookFunnel. Please do dig in if you have any interest. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'm pretty much wide open and almost always available. Okay, we're back. Phew. The question becomes, am I going to cut any of this out? Probably not. You guys always wanted to hear me breathe hard into the microphone, huh? I had to. My roommate is out of town and she is having some work done on her car. And so the inspector was here and I had to run down 3 flights of stairs because I thought I had to let the guy in, but the garage door was already open, so he's fine. So then I had to run back up 3 flights of stairs. And now I'm trying to plug my phone in. I was talking about how long it took me to write this book and where it will be sold. Booksbydlwhite.com/ELYSIUM is where you will find the links. Those links will take you to my website store where you'll be able to buy it first. I'm trying to decide how long I will leave it up at my store before I start rolling it out to retail outlets. My first inclination is to do like 10 days at my website and then do a pre-order so you can pre-order it everywhere else. Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, etc. I don't know, but I'm very impatient. Like this process of having the book edited has taken weeks. And I know some of my traditionally published authors wait months, but it is the most nerve-wracking thing, waiting for edits to come in. And I have only had to wait 4 weeks. So, I keep telling my friends, I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all do it. Like normally I write a book, I send it to my beta, I get like editor level commentary from her. Any mistakes you see in books are mine. And then I put it up. So, I hope and pray that this new process of hiring a professional editor makes this book absolutely sing. I know it will be worth it, but I'm very impatient. So the idea that I would have a book not in a retail store for 10 days after release is kind of making me itch. I mean, it will be available at my store, so it will be on sale, but I know how the girls like their Amazon links. They like it in Kindle. So because Amazon will probably get it up faster, I will probably have it at my store in Amazon, and I'm going to roll it out to the other stores after that. It'll be up. It'll be $4.99. And if you shop at my store, my books are typically a different price. I'm going to try to do like a little coupon thing so you can buy it at my store for less than you can buy at retail, but that probably won't be effective right away. I don't know. I'm literally talking out of my behind on the fly. I don't know. But typically when you buy a book through my store, the price is different, which is something we're not supposed to do, but I do it anyway. Book will not be available via Kindle Unlimited. I haven't been on Kindle Unlimited since 2019. I do not plan to go back, but never say never, you know what I'm saying? It will be distributed to Scribd and Kobo Plus if you subscribe to those outlets, and it will also eventually be available to request at your local library. If you have a library card, please request it and then check it out. You ain't got to read it, but request it and check it out so the library will stock it. I so appreciate it. So, what is the lowdown on this book? Tell us about writing it. Well, I mean, I podcasted the entire writing experience. So, like, I think y'all know, basically, I'm very excited about this book. It is different from my other books. I really have said several times I want to level up in the product that I'm putting out. I want to present a professional front. I want all my books to look professionally done. Your eyes do not deceive you. You do see different covers on some of my books. I have redone my covers, and I have engaged someone to do full wrap covers for my books. So if you are buying print, you might see different covers popping up here and there as they matriculate through the system. So that's something I've been working on while I'm waiting on edits to come back for this book. I need something to do with my hands, so I am like trying to update my covers and make sure my series match and make sure I have good full wrap covers that look professional, just so that I can look good at the retail store next to your Simon & Schuster, your Random House, your, Forever Pub books out there. So, they aren't going to look like they were designed by, a big five publisher, but they aren't going to look total trash either. So I like them, and that's what matters. I had a good time writing this book. I really had a good time. It was good to write to people who were ready for something new, something great, who genuinely cared about each other, who had a nice, easy, sweet, friendly, sexy relationship. And I think, to me, Vance and Athena fit. They fit together. They are two puzzle pieces. It is great that they happened to find each other and that both were ready for what they were presented with. Both do still have to make a huge leap in this book, but positioning them in a place where they are ready together really meant a lot to me. This is a vacation romance, so it is very, I won't say it's decadent, but I had a good time putting in, relaxing experiences and romantic occasions, and just finding ways to put them together where they can enjoy themselves at a really nice hotel on an island. And that was fun. That was actually a ton of fun. I'm trying to think of what I didn't enjoy writing, and in hindsight, there wasn't anything I didn't enjoy writing. The act of writing itself is hard. It's just hard. I just sit down at the computer and I'm just staring at the blank page okay, now what? So I go back and I read, and in my brain, what immediately comes? What is that next scene? Is it a jump? Is it the same day? Where are they? What are they doing? What are they saying? What are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish with this, next scene, this next chapter? How am I pushing this story forward without wasting words? Did I throw stuff away? Most definitely. I have a whole scene that I deleted because it just didn't. I have two scenes actually I deleted that just didn't work. Maybe I'll pop those up at some point in the future as just something fun. They're short. They're short because they didn't work. I cut them out. So this book did teach me that I definitely need a process. And that process is usually involved around that 20K to 5 days challenge. I need a running start. I need to know what I'm talking about. I need to have a little something. Before going into that challenge, I need to know where I want to end up. And that 20K jump is it's a big hunk of the book. It's almost always the middle or the end of the beginning, jumping into the middle. But that's the head start that I need to then get to where I call the point of no return. and then I just write until the end. I have also learned, though I don't really like it, that I just need to be patient. There's a right way to do things, and just tell myself to shut up and do it the right way, because that's the way it needs to be done. You know, I also feel like I do a whole lot of watching other people. I do a whole lot of looking at what other people are doing and feeling down on myself because I'm not at that level and I'm not producing at that rate. My books aren't that good. My covers aren't that good. My audio isn't that good. Like, look how silly mine look compared to those. And I don't know how to stop that. I don't know that I want to. I think that I always want to push myself to perform at a level of what I call excellence. In one of my author groups, we talk a lot about that saying that was going around for a while, that Black authors should have the right to produce mediocre books. Really meaning that you see a lot of just plain blah books out here get a lot of attention and get accolades, and people read them, and you're like, but you read it and you put it away and you give it another chance. And Black authors don't really get that opportunity. We have to be on top of our game all the time. And while I get that saying and I get what they're trying to say, I don't ever step out here. Even if I say, you know what, this is just a fun thing I wanted to publish. Hey Lover was just a fun book I wanted to publish because I needed to publish something in 2022. But I wouldn't say it's a blah book. I wouldn't say it's a low effort book. I wouldn't say I didn't put my foot in it. I heard recently on the Staying on Code podcast, Reggie Reeds, who is one of my most favorite people on the planet, said mediocrity is not a something that is afforded to Black people, to Black writers, to Black authors. Mediocrity is not something that's ever afforded to us. We don't get to be mediocre. We always have to come out here on our best, on top. And it is not just readers who aren't Black saying that. It be your own people. It be your own people. The standards are high. The stakes are high. And when my book is next to Christina C. Jones and Nicole Falls and Delaney Diamond and Sharon C. Cooper and friggin' Stephanie Nicole Norris, who I swear is like publishing a book every week. I already told her I cannot keep up. What is happening? What are you doing over there? I want my books to look good next to theirs. I want them to sound good next to theirs. I want my book descriptions to be as good as theirs. And if I feel like I am as good as the people I'm standing next to, I'm happy. The second I feel like I am not as good as the people I'm standing next to, we have a problem, and I am working on my product. I am working on myself. I am working on my descriptions. I am working on my covers. I am working on my links. I am working on my promo. I am doing the best I can to get these books out here into the people that I want to read them. I hope that this book finds the hands that want it, that finds the eyes that need it, the people that would be delighted to put it into their faces. If it doesn't, cool. Once it leaves your computer, it's out there. The public owns it. It's above me now. But, as long as it's inside my computer and I can control its destiny for the moment, I really want it to find people that love it. I want it to find a lot of people that love it, that will hype it up, that will talk about it, that will send the link to their friends and, help me make this book a raging success. Because I think it's a really good book. So this is it's book 2 in the Black Diamond Romance series, which is now a series. I just don't know how many times I'd tell you people I am not a series writer, even though I did just plan out a whole other series to write in 2024. So also in 2024, I want to write book 3 in the Black Diamond Romance series, in which we will see Wade and Amina. I did already start that one. There is a character in ELYSIUM that will be the hero in the next Black Diamond book. It's tentatively called The Pearl. So I'm excited about things that are coming up. Even if this book was a flop, I've already started like the next 2-3 books. So can't stop, won't stop. I'm going to stop rambling because my dinner is on the way. I'm going to enjoy, chill out, watch something on YouTube, listen to my podcast. I'm waiting for my edits to come in. And then once those come in, I am going to be head down, plowing through it so that I can put this book up and it can be ready to sell. Then format the print option so I can send that out. I am heavily considering a redacted version for my mother. I'm not even joking. I'm so glad I came up with that idea. I'm not even joking. So that brings us to the end of this episode of the Bookcast, this very special episode of the Bookcast. I thank you so much for joining me for these rambles. Please join me next week where hopefully I will have some week 1 thoughts about this book. We'll talk about, release week stuff. Maybe I'll have some numbers. I don't know. I will also be back with a reading update. I'm trying to get back on my Zoom. I'm trying to get back on the horse, but honestly, I've just been chilling. I hit 100 books and then I'm 18 books ahead on my Goodreads challenge. I already need to increase my goal again. I am fine as far as books go. I will tell you that I read the new Karen Slaughter after that night. Ciao. All of the trigger warnings, all of them, every trigger warning that exists, all of them. But it's classic Karen Slaughter. If you like Karen Slaughter, you will love this book. It is classic Karen Slaughter, but it's rough. It was a rough read, all of the trigger warnings. So I'll talk about that book and anything else I managed to put into my face this week. Please enjoy your weekend. Have a superlative week. We'll chat again next weekend. Bye-bye.